The sun is out, but the sprinklers are still going. Growers.
Yeah, look at that, dude. I want to show you how cold it really got. That's how cold it got. It's 25 degrees right now. Pretty hard freeze. It's been cold.
February 2026. Florida, United States. A historic freeze in Florida, a rare wave of polar air swept across the state, causing widespread damage to agriculture and power outages.
1 de febrero del año 2026. Así es como estuvo la helada aquí en Plant City, Florida, miren. Hielo, todo se congeló. Wow. Miren. Wow.
In early February 2026, Florida was hit by an unprecedented wave of polar air that affected the central, eastern, and southern parts of the state. The phenomenon was caused by a disruption in the polar vortex and a direct influx of cold polar air from Canada. Temperatures in the central and southern parts of the state, including Orlando, Miami, and Homestead, fell below 24 degrees Fahrenheit, breaking records set more than a century ago.
I've never seen anything like this before. This is where I live, in Central Florida.
The historic freeze was a severe economic and environmental shock not only to the people but also to Florida farmers. Farmland in much of the southern part of the state, including Homestead and around Okeechobee, was completely frozen and covered in snow. Staple crops such as green beans, squash, and citrus were damaged by the extreme cold. Farmers say many plants will either die or fail to produce, and the losses to the state's agricultural industry are approaching billions of dollars.
Good morning. This is Tara with the Showcase of Citrus with an update from our first freeze night. It is just about 7 a.m. and you can see that these trees are encased in ice. You can also tell that we did have some winds because some of the trees are not covered in all areas.
It's sunset.
And this is still icy. This is incredible. Look at that. I mean, solid.
I don't know if you can see it out there.
In addition to the damage to agriculture, the Florida freeze also produced some incredible and unprecedented scenes. A thick white mist rose above the sea. Chilled iguanas fell from trees and seemed to be in a state of critical limbo, while birds struggled with frozen water bowls and cold paws. The images and phenomena show that Florida, a state that is always warm and sunny, is facing its coldest winter days and unusual phenomena for the first time in decades, something that residents and tourists have rarely experienced. The Florida freeze not only threatened agricultural crops, but also severely strained the state's electrical grid. As temperatures plunged below freezing and people desperately needed heating, many areas experienced temporary power outages, and energy companies urged citizens to reduce their electricity consumption. This additional strain on the grid, along with widespread agricultural damage, underscores the vast economic implications of this rare event. Experts warn that the damage is not limited to crop losses. Local industries, stores, and households have also been hit by increased energy consumption and disruptions to services.
Good morning, everyone. Once again from the Showcase of Citrus. We are hovering at about 26 degrees right now. This is another section of our grove. It is gorgeous. It is encased in ice. The ground, the trees. Let me go up here, give you a little insight, little close-ups. The misters are still going. We will be running the irrigation for the next 2 nights due to the freezing temperatures. We will be getting into the 20s.
Yeah, look at that, dude.
The cause of the freeze was a combination of rare weather and climate factors. The polar vortex, a massive mass of cold air that normally lingers over the Arctic, weakened and became unstable as it moved south, bringing Arctic cold to the US and even tropical regions like Florida. At the same time, the southward intrusion of Arctic air from Canada, a phenomenon known as the Arctic air surge, intensified the freezing conditions. The Florida freeze brought unprecedented cold and stunning scenes to a state that is usually warm. From frozen farmland to fallen iguanas and a strained power grid, the event is a reminder of the power of nature and the challenges facing people and the environment.
Wonderland, which is not a good thing. But you don't see this very often in Florida.
We're hoping temperatures warm up soon so we can turn the water off.
The event is considered one of the rarest and most widespread winter cold events in half a century. It is the first time that more than 15 different Florida cities have broken temperature records, and many cities have experienced their coldest February days on record. Some of these records were more than a century old, and their breaking shows that the severity and extent of the freeze was unprecedented.
Day on the farm. I'm over here, and I just...
That is definitely the best one yet.